أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Dear Americans, dear Muslims in the United States and around the world and the old world, this now will become a series of what I like to name as I was tortured in the United States. You have seen me, and I'll make sure that many people get to watch that video in their computer or connected to the internet. This will be the third part. The fourth will come, of course, and the fifth, until I make sure that I say everything I want to say, because whenever I speak, I remember that I forgot a lot of things to say and I'm not complete. And also to have access to YouTube with very long video, it's something which I'm not familiar. That's why I want to make it 1 hour each, and whenever I remember something else I bring it back. Why do I keep speaking about this? Because this is my life. To understand it, take yourself your life in danger. Put yourself in battlefield in Afghanistan or wherever life is no good, and you feel you have evidence that your life is in danger and you may die anytime. I think you'll make sure that whoever then understand you has to understand you. It may not change your fate. It may not change your fate. If God has already planned that you will go, you will die, anything you say, any explanation won't change anything. But at least it will help humanity, it will help the world to know about a human being. And what happened to him? Maybe it will be a lesson to other people, or maybe it will be even a lesson to those who kill him to understand that that time they have done a mistake. So you will understand why I keep recording this and try to let everybody sees it in different ways or in different means. Well, let's start from here. It is now a day or 2 days I called the FBI informing them about my situation. First, I sent them an email informing them and asking their help. But I also mentioned in it that they were the last organization I've called, because since I'm in the United States, especially when I was in Atlanta, I've never heard good stories about FBI and Muslims. I remember once asking, when I start seeing trouble in my life, people watching me, people like to squeeze me to put me in a corner, whereas I need a lot of freedom to work, especially when I was preparing my GED. I asked a black American who is a Muslim, I say, It looks to me that I'm not safe, and people are watching me. What is the problem? What surprised me first of all that he lowered his voice and he was looking left and right before answering me, and almost in a way like shushing somebody. He said, "You have to know that the situation of Muslims in the United States after September 11 is no good anymore. Many Muslims got killed, some got tortured, and every Muslim is regarded as a potential terrorist, a potential threat to the United States. And it's not only you, it's everyone, especially those who are not Muslim, I mean, they are not from United States, Pakistan, India, Arab countries, Africa, and stuff like that. What surprised me most is not his answer, but his attitude. He has to lower his voice, he has to look left and right as if he has already committed a crime. I don't know if I understood him very well. So for that reason, today I think I understand him very well. Nobody has encouraged me to call FBI, though I had a very good image of the FBI and the US Secret Services while I was out. But seeing what happened to me from the third month of my life in the United States, I think they were not the right person I've called. After I had a lot of stories of Muslims being tortured and some getting missing and some getting killed in the United States and even out of the United States, but by American services. I'm not against the United States. I've mentioned this many times. This is the country I love. This is the country I wanted to be in and to reach somewhere. I know right now the situation of the United States, especially for migrants, is not as better as it used to be. I think refugees who have gone to Scandinavian countries, Australia, say highly about those places, how they make life easily, how they achieve their goals easily, because money is there. But for me, there is something they miss. They are not Americans. They don't have an American passport. And this is something, wherever you go around the world, before they look at a Canadian, they look at an Australian, a British, everybody will turn to look at an American. And that's the thing I didn't like to lose until now. Well, I'm a Muslim. I believe that I'm not gonna get something which God didn't plan for me. And it looks maybe as if He didn't plan for me to be an American and to have an American passport and to enjoy American pride out of the United States. I know how it's value, how it's worth, because I've been in that. Sometimes I look for jobs, especially teaching position, and I've been denied and been given to an American, whereas I knew that I was more intelligent, more educated than American, just because he has got a nice accent, just because he's an American. Is it good? Is it bad? But sometimes the reality of life, and when you are struggling, when you are fighting to gain life, if being an American can help you having a better life, why not? I keep saying these things. Let me say, first of all, I'm sorry. I don't put glasses because I want to appear beautiful to you guys. No. I used to be, because right now it is not really sunny, and if I don't have glasses, I'm not gonna see the screen. I've got a side view, a short side, I used to be handsome, and my first concern in my life before Kenya, where I've changed my life, it was that to make sure that I dress up, most possibly with stuff from designers, French and Italian designers, and going out for girls mainly. I could go to bed with 5 girls in one day, which today I regard as it is not a pride anymore for me. So, being as I am now, it is not a proud at all. I don't have time to take a shower as I used. I usually take I used to take 2 minimum showers a day, but now I can take 2 in a week. Well, just because it is not the first preoccupation anymore. If I keep giving this video, it's to explain myself in, as I said, in the things I did in, and mainly because nothing has appeared clear at the moment at any side. Look at this. I call FBI, I send them an email, and everybody is telling me that unless I speak to them, I'll not find a way out of my case or my life. Of course, for me, it starts by God. It doesn't start by FBI. I don't believe in those things. Even if somebody put a gun in my head, I'll still believe that unless God says so, it will not happen. It will not happen. Well, so I send them an email explaining to them why I delayed to call them, but I've called many people, I've sent email to many people. After sending an email, I called them twice. Well, I'm the concern of the problem, but so far they haven't called me. They called the institution here, the center where I am, they talk to them, they say that they may call me, but they don't call me. What is that? For somebody who's educated, you can put a question mark in that. Well, many of the people, if not all of them, when I've written, at least they're supposed to answer. I said at least they're supposed to call. None is doing. Why? For me, looks like somebody's blocking my emails and it doesn't reach the people I'm calling to have their help, I'm addressing to have their help, or at least to let them know what is going on in my life, the danger I'm facing. These people are really civilized, educated. Even if they won't help me, at least they will acknowledge it and they tell me that we have received. If they don't do that, after all this effort I've done, it means to me that somebody's blocking this or is playing games with this. And all this is suspicion for me. 3. Among the people I've called, radios, TVs and the newspapers, these people have reported of my accident when it happens on June 13. I've seen myself on Cure 11. People told me I was at CBS and other local Star Tribune or other local newspapers. Okay, now I've called the same people, informing them that I want to interview. For the first time, I'm the person they wrote about me. They made a program about me. So now I'm calling. I've called them all the last week, and they don't even like to come and interview me, or they don't even call me back. What does that mean? It means they've been threatened. They've been told to get away of this, to stay far from this. Who's done that and why? It means the threat of life is there. The last thing, it is what I've tried to mention to you last time. A person over here working at Carriage Center, talking to me, informing me that I should not go out to that appointment of Tuesday, and crying in front of me. It means she has seen that the danger was serious. So when you put all the things together, you will not rest until you make sure that you're safe and things are going right. You have a guarantee of that. Well, why should I do all these things? Am I afraid of death? I've told you last time. Jesus was afraid of death. But he came in this world to die, according to the Bible. He knew that his mission is to die. But when it came, he was afraid of death. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he knew when he delivered his last sermon, Khutbat al-Wada', he said that maybe he will not come to pilgrim anymore. He knew when he started getting sick, but still he was afraid of death. And another thing is that in Islam, those weak people will be asked on the day of judgment by the angels, where were you in this world? They say we were weak. People were on us, and they told them the earth of God wasn't large and vast for you to go to another place, and they will be punished. What I'm trying to say is that a Muslim to kill himself is forbidden. He will go to hell if he kills himself. If he kills people, he will go to hell. But also, even if he doesn't kill himself, but if he lives a negligent life, if he doesn't do effort to protect himself and get killed, it will still be on him. So he has to exhaust all the means of protecting himself, to claim his innocence, to prove his innocence, to try whatever he can try. But if still God wants him to die, he will die. But at least he will have something in front of God that I've tried. This is exactly what the Prophet Muhammad did. God informed him that ordered him to leave Mecca and to go to Medina. He hid himself. He made a plan of escaping. He was in trouble until the last moment. Why? That's what Islam says. You need to do effort. But if God wants you to die, even with that effort, you'll die. But at least you have done what's supposed to do. That's the meaning of the verse. فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Do the effort and let God do the rest. And this is exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to exhaust all the means, explaining myself, my situation, proving to people that they were wrong about me. When I exhaust this, but still if God wants me to go, I will go. I've got a lot of points. I'll forget them. That's why I'll be speaking and here and there, picking this whatever I remember. Kenya, as I've told you, it's where my life's changed. I told you I grew in a Christian environment. I was the boy in the mass in the morning, if I say the word very well, in the church. The church is in Kindu. It's called Saint Gaston. Saint Gaston, it is in the area called Cité. If you are in Kindu, you go to Cité, there is a church called Saint Gaston. This is where I was the boy, the mass boy, behind the priest for more than 5 years. If you go there, you know about it. I've told you I went to junior seminar to become a priest. So I live in this Christian environment. But I knew I was a Muslim. I was reading Quran, I was studying Quran in a hiding place for my own sake. But as I said, Islam in Congo is a shameful religion. Nobody wanna say that he's a Muslim. Mainly, they are not educated. They are in this stuff of jinn and stuff like that. But me, from the younger age, I knew that was the truth. I was I was right to be Muslim, and I will explain to you whenever possible. But I was living that life of girls, going with girls, sleeping with girls, 5 in a day, going to nightclub almost all the time. Well, even when I start traveling, it was all the same until I reached Kenya. When I reached Kenya, it happened that I have to decide now. I think it was time for me to decide if I want to keep on with that life where pride is just to go to bed with as many women as possible, or I want to give a meaning to my life. So when I want to give me a meaning to my life, I decide now it's time I practice Islam openly and very well. Then I went to meet some organizations of Muslims in Nairobi. I told them about my life, said that the first thing which was said to me when I was born, it was the Azan. Muslim call for prayer. But when I explained the way I live, they say, no, you have lost your Islam because you were going to church all the time. You've been even in the seminar to be prepared to be a priest. Though you read Quran, though you memorize Quran, you have lost your Islam. What has to be done? They say you have to do the Shahada again. You have to believe in your heart and say it out that there is only one God. He doesn't have a son. He doesn't have a wife. He doesn't have a partner. He doesn't have an intercessor, somebody to intercede between him and the human beings. Nobody has seen him. Nobody can see him. He doesn't change his shape to become a human being. People may say that, oh, this is to aim Christians to go against what Christians say about Jesus. I don't really mean that. I have a great respect to Christians, and I believe the faith of everybody, even those who don't believe in God. But this exactly what the Shahada of Muslim says. When I say Ashhadu Allah ilaha illallah, so it means all these things. And when you study Tawheed in Islam, which is the main studies, you hear that it's just the development of all what I've done. And also in the Shahada, you have to believe that Prophet Muhammad is among the Prophet of God, not only the only Prophet of God, but he is among the Prophet of God, and he is the last Prophet. Well, I believe in these things, so I did another Shahada. They told me if they offered me if I want to continue to learn more Quran. I say I know more. They say no. What you read there is not the whole Quran. So I said okay, give me a chance. They sent me to a place called Kikambala. Everybody from Kenya, CIA, everybody knows where is Kikambala. It's in the east. I went there. I stayed there. I don't know for 2 weeks or 2 months. I don't remember. Well, I like the place because you study Quran, which I like very much, and I was about to stay there longer and maybe even to memorize the whole Quran if I didn't do it, because the people teaching there, they are Pakistanis and Indians. And to be short here, among the problems I have, it was, you don't know, you guys, how I feel about racism, especially racism against me or against black people. And this is what I found there. I found that Pakistanis, Indians who were teaching these people Quran, they were looking down at them. I didn't like it. I knew that I may do a scandal there because I'll beat somebody. Somebody will get beat up seriously, and it will be police case. So I thought I need to leave from there. I memorized what I could, and I saw that Kenyans or those young Muslims there, they didn't care to be regarded like that. to be looked down by Indians and Pakistanis, but that is not me. It's not me. Whenever somebody, I don't like racism to anybody, even to other races, but mainly because the main victims of racism are black people. And I've told you in the other videos the place of black in my life. So when I came to Kenya, that was the first country where I really felt racism, and sometimes on me. So I have to hold myself very much not to commit a crime, but it was a very big shock to me. So this explains every time when I say Kenya. So even to those who believe that I was a bad man, I don't think I was the bad man before reaching Kenya. Because before reaching Kenya, I was living a Christian life. Let's make it straight. I was living a Christian life. And I don't think that everybody has accused Christians to be the enemies of America or Americans. The problem is with Muslims. And before Kenya, I can say that I was almost a Christian. I like everything Christians do, good or bad. So there was nobody can say that. Well, this video will be interrupted like this all the time because people have to come in the room. They have to help me, and I don't have a way to stop them from doing their job. So sometimes you see me raising my hand, trying to speak to them. Well, as I have to continue here because there is no stop, there is no pause in what I'm doing here. Racism was affected me badly while I was in Kenya, even among Muslims in Nairobi. Once I was in a mosque, and an Indian or a Pakistani, I don't know the difference between of them. I was in the mosque and reading Quran. Then a Pakistani came with a coin of money, a change, and he gave it to me as sadaqah. I asked him, "Did I ask your money?" He said, "You take it." I said, "Did I ask it for it? The way you see me, do you think I'm a poor man and I deserve to be given that?" He kept forcing me to take it. So I saw that he doesn't understand what I mean. Then I took the coin and threw it on him. Thanks God it didn't touch him. Why I did this? Because sometimes in the mosque, people bring food. And when food comes, Indians and the Pakistanis make sure that they eat themselves. They don't mix with other people. And they give other people to eat themselves. I don't like things like that. When I went to the shops, to the stores, I've seen the way, Indian and Pakistanis shops, I've seen the way they deal with the workers were there, the black workers were there. I didn't like this. This is my first time to have that shock of racism. But say it or not, you are free to criticize everybody as you like. I cannot say that all Pakistanis, all Indians, all white men, all Latinos are bad and they don't like black people. I don't say that. I take things individual. I cannot say there is a very bad country in this world, and all the people in that country are not good. This is not, to be honest. Nobody can deny that there is racism in the world. Nobody can deny that it works like that. But nobody can say that everybody is racist and everybody doesn't like black people. It doesn't make sense, and I don't say it myself, but I know the way racism, when you are a victim of racism, the way it hurt, how bad you feel, or how bad you feel when you see another country, another black man like you being a victim of racism, the way you feel it. Well, I'll start by some stories which will help us to understand my case. While I was in Kenya, I used to watch TV, and it came. I don't remember the name of that person, the journalist anymore, but it was a music show. And every time when he's in a music show, when he's in a music show, he used to start by shikamo kwa wakubwa, marhaba kwa wadogo. I mean, Kenyans, when they hear what I'm talking about here, they will understand it. They'll find the name of the journalist. He will start with a music, and he will make some comment on the music. I think the name of the music was Informer. It was an American music. Then, before playing that music, before playing that clip, he said, "This is true story which happened to United States," and he tried to explain that there was an informer of government of a secret service, a black man who had a girlfriend, and it happened that another boy picked that girlfriend. The first man, who is an informer, to punish the other man who took his girlfriend, he went to the secret service and said so bad things about the other man. The man was being taken and put in jail. Americans, you know, if this story is true or not, but this is what I've told on a TV. My question is here to gain time. What is the limit of an informer? How you trust them? Don't you think that some informers, for their own reasons, to get some cons on people, the people they don't like, they can tell lies on them, which I believe as a victim of that. So, one thing I've seen in the United States, that many people they can easily get duped. You just need to place one word, to let one word to go out so that they believe straight on. It's something I didn't see very much in all those countries I've been. And those countries are poor countries, African countries, where many people didn't even have a chance to go to school. But they take time to believe somebody. When that woman at the Clarkston Community Center in Atlanta, Georgia, went to report about me, did people try to make sure that she is doing her job, or he has gone to the over limit and he has put his own reasons of doing that? Let me give you another example. I met an Ivorian woman, and she was facing deportation. She has to appear to court, and she said she will plead in her dialect or mother tongue. And it happened that many people in the United States don't speak her dialect, but the judge ordered her to find somebody who can speak English and her dialect. Thanks God, after a lot of effort, she found that person, and they went to court. So the judge and the prosecutor were asking in English. The woman will translate to the dialect of that woman. That the woman will answer, and the interpreter will give it to Americans. after time, the woman understood that what she's saying, what the interpreter is saying in English is not exactly, not even closer to what she's saying from her dialect. What is the point here? The point here that most African translators, they don't say what they see, they don't say the truth, but they say things to please the white man, to please the judge, to please the people in the Secret Service. Those who send them take time to make sure. So that woman I'm talking about, if she didn't know a little of English, I think she would be deported by now and go back to a country where there is war and maybe be killed by this time. But when she got something, then she went straight on and said, no, judge, what she's saying there is not exactly what I'm telling. They have to dismiss that woman and to look for another one. But this has happened many times. I've told you many times, guys, I don't have any problem with any race in the world, and mainly white men, mainly Americans. But one thing, I'm not afraid of anybody, of any race. Whenever I talk to a white man, I don't see his color or her color. For me, when I talk to a white man, I talk to a human being. It's only when he starts showing me that he's white, then I say, oh, it's what you mean. But whoever I talk to in this world, I see him as, or I see her as a human being. And I don't tremble in front of somebody. Not in front of a rich man, a billionaire, not in front of a president, not in. God didn't create me that way. But it's me. Unfortunately, many Africans are like that. For them, white man is God. Whenever they're in front of a white man, they have to please him. They have to please her instead of telling the truth or dealing with the case the way it has to be dealt. I'm sure the woman in Clarkston Community Center did the same. I'm sure the Southern Sudanese in Lutheran Refugee and Immigration Services did the same. I'm sure the men from Eritrea at Lutheran Refugee and Immigration Services did the same. Many of the things they said about me, it wasn't true. But first of all, they said this is what our bosses, the white men, want to hear, want to get from us. So let us give this to them. So the risk is that you may kill many people with this. What I'm asking to Americans, guys, this is among the most developed countries in terms of education. So why in this country also people get duped easily like that? People get duped easily like that. Okay, these people sometimes, how they work, they know that if they don't give a lot of information, they will lose their job. Who cares if me, Magdad, I die today? They see that their job is here and they have to say something. Okay, let me say whatever I want to say about Magdad. If he dies, what is my problem? I'll keep my job. But I'm a human being, me. I'm not an animal. I'm not a tool. I'm not a tool, man. I've got the same blood you've got. White men, black men, and whoever. A black man can give some organs of his body to a white man who's in trouble. So when you deal with a case of human being, please try to deal with it carefully. Try to collect all the evidence. Instead of just planning to kill somebody, to destroy the life of somebody, to put me on the wheelchair, just because some black men who for them being United States is like to being in paradise, they cannot say anything, they cannot stand a white man, they have to tell them what what will please them, and you guys in return you have to accept anything. This is not fair, especially when it's about the life of human being. I want to live twice. This is my life. Let me ask you a question. If all this you have put me in, it comes to be that there is nothing true. If you were in the same situation as mine, in any Arab country or Islamic country, you were in the same situation as mine, would you like it? If your sons, your children would be in the same situation, your wives, your husband will be in the same situation which you have put me, would you be happy with that? Am I an animal or a human being like you? The first time I put the video on YouTube, somebody wrote a comment, and later on I didn't see again. Say that's why you talk about my country. If you have any problem with somebody, go and talk to him. And if you don't like United States, just go. Get out of it. I've been looking for the chance of getting out of United States for a long time. I wrote to IRC headquarters in New York asking them that I have to get out of United States. But they don't like. They don't send me money. For them, this is the last place. And let me put this before I forget. God, if somebody will say that he has got a clue while I'm in the United States that I'm a bad man, he's lying. I can say he's an animal. The big issue with me, it is that I'm a Muslim, I'm smart, and I've been to an Arab country. I came from Sudan, and I've been in Yemen. So, because in the United States, I've never been in a house of somebody. I have never been in a house of a Muslim. I have never been in a house of somebody. The first time I went in a house of somebody, it was in Bismarck, and it's the house of an American and a white man. So, if I'm a bad person, mainly it's because I was in Yemen. So, here there is something I don't really understand, you guys. You are human beings. You are not animals. One, no refugee in Yemen is allowed to apply for resettlement in any Western country. It's the UNHCR which sees the file and sees whoever they think need to be resettled somewhere. When the United States choose somebody, let's say me for example, there are 3 services: Christian service, I don't know, land security or homeland security, and all these people, they made 3 investigations before they allowed somebody to come to United States. And the CIA is in every country. So, first of all, those who killed many people in the past in the United States are Muslims. Yemen is the worst country against Islam, is the first one. And me or another refugee is in Yemen. Guys, if you put all these things together, why to give me a chance to come to United States? Whereas any Muslim in Yemen is already a suspect number one. So why to give a suspect a chance of coming to United States? I don't understand myself. There are many Muslim refugees. You take them from Yemen and they come to United States with the money of United States. Because if you say that I've become a bad man in the United States, this is a lie. If anything can be true, it's just because that I've been a bad man before coming to United States. So guys, you know already that I'm a bad man. CIA confirmed that I'm a bad man. All the services you send to Yemen before you accepted a refugee to come to United States confirm that I'm a bad man. So why do you give chance to such a person to come to United States? For me, I fail to understand. For me, it occurs that two things only you do. You said, though we know that he's a bad man, we are sure that when he goes to United States, he will change. Which does not have a guarantee that that person will change, and especially me. Or another thing is that you say that, okay, United States, it will be his last place where he has to be killed. Maybe we won't kill him easily in Yemen. Let's bring him in United States and kill him. Because it doesn't make sense. A bad man, you give him a ticket, you give him any support, you bring him in United States, whereas you know that he's a bad man. You cannot say that you didn't know. Because in the United States, I've never been in touch with anybody. I know you have got the best service in the United States. I've never been in touch with somebody. So maybe you can say you don't know more about me while I was in Sudan. You don't know more about me while I was in Kenya. You don't know more about me while I was in Chad. You don't know more about me while I was in Djibouti. You don't know more about me while I was in Yemen. So maybe I've been recruited somewhere there. With all this best service, CIA and all the service, that means you knew before I came here. So you gave me this chance only with the hope that I may become a Christian, or I will be a man with no religion, or you knew it and they say, okay, let us take him in the United States and kill him. That's what I don't understand, guys. I'm not the person you're saying. I know some Arabs, even some African Muslims, they are against United States. I don't refuse that. It's a fact. But they are doing this for their own reasons. It's not for the reasons of Islam. Islam is not the religion of a human being. There is no pope in Islam. It's not a religion of human being. The people who are against United States, they cannot tell everybody that they understand the Quran better than every Muslim else who is not against United States. I don't see in the Quran where it says that you have to kill Christians, you have to kill those who are not in your religion. I don't see that. Islam says, the Quran says, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the practice of the Quran. That means whatever you read in the Quran, if you don't know how to do it, or even if you think that you know, you have to see how the Prophet lives that recommendation which is in the Quran, that order. One of his wife, Aisha, everybody knows her. Whenever he has been asked about Quran, she said, look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Whenever she was asked anything of the life of the Prophet Muhammad, he said, She said, read the Quran. That's one of the meanings in Islam where the Prophet said, Sallu kama raitumuni usalli. Pray the way you see me praying. Because anything which goes against the way Prophet Muhammad lived in Islam is not accepted in Islam. Well, in the time of the Prophet Muhammad, there were Jews, there were Christians, and there were non-believers, the Quraysh. I don't see anywhere in the life of the Prophet Muhammad or in the Quran where he started killing every Christian around him, every Jew around him, every Quraysh around him. I don't see that. I'm not only a Muslim, but I studied Islam. So those who are against, those of Muslims, those of Arabs, those who are Christians, those who are Africans and the Asians who are against United States, they're against United States for their own reasons. Even if they can say that they are doing it for the sake of Islam. Well, and it cannot be said that every Muslim is against Islam. Everybody who has come from Yemen, who has passed through Yemen, is against Islam. You'll finish people like that. So whenever I talk about this, people say, "Oh, how many Muslims are here in the United States and they are not in trouble? We don't kill them." But some of them get killed. If somebody denies that, it's a lie. Yes, there are Muslims in the United States. Not everybody gets killed, but some of them get killed in unfair way. Some got disappeared. Some get missing for the things they haven't done and they didn't even think of that. Of course, some Muslims do these things. I don't deny it. But man, we are human beings. We are not tools. When you have a fruit like mangoes, if you have got 10 mangoes and you come to discover that 10 mangoes were together, you come to discover that 9 are already contaminated, you say that, I don't have even time to check the 10th one. You'll throw all of them. But man, this cannot be to human beings. You cannot say that since 9 Muslims are against Islam, that means even the 10th one is against Islam. It doesn't make sense, guys. Judge me on what I am. Don't judge me on what you think. Since some Muslims are against Islam, that means Baghdad is against Islam. Since some Muslims who passed through Yemen are against United States, that means Baghdad is against United States. You'll finish people. I'm not a tool. I'm a human being like you. I'm a human being like your brothers and sisters. I'm a human being like your children, your sons. I'm not somebody to be killed or to be discarded like this. No. No. I've spoken a little bit about Kenya. And let me go back to 2 things. Yes. You need to understand my life with the Ethiopian woman in Clarkston Community Center, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm telling you the truth that the woman has acted on a revenge. First, I believe I'm more educated than that woman. Second, she comes from Ethiopia. If you know the truth about Africa, go all around Africa. You will see that Ethiopians are not respected in Africa. I don't have anything bad with that country. I've been in Ethiopia many times. But the fact is that Ethiopians are not respected in Africa, and especially in Sudan. There is an area in Khartoum called Dem. It's now like an Ethiopian area neighborhood. Whenever a Sudanese go to that area, to them, it's just for two things or three: either to get Ethiopian prostitute, either to get Ethiopian servant of the house, either to drink alcohol in the house of Ethiopian. These are the three things. And mainly when a Sudanese goes to that area, it's for sex. Ethiopia is a great country, I believe in it. But in Sudan, people go there for sex. I never look down to people unless they behave in a way that they push me to look down at them. She dealt with me with that. She's an American. She has been here in the United States before me. She has to intimidate me. Man, if I'll have time to speak a little bit about my past, you have seen that I've lost so many occasions to have a nice life just before because I've seen to the person who want to deal with me, he or she's looking down at me, she want to intimidate me. These things don't work with me. This woman was lucky if I didn't curse her and tell her who she is, but at least I've expressed this to her. And you guys know about that. About the second job I had at Atlanta International Airport. When I got injured, what happened? So, when this woman brings information, I think you have to understand. You have to check by yourself. When this Southern Sudanese brings in the information, why don't you check it? When this Eritrean brings in information, why don't you check it instead of believing them blindly? And when you check, what did you find on me? There is nothing you find. One thing you can keep saying daily, that I'm very smart, I'm still passing between your legs. I'm not that person. I will say it in the second video after this one, because this one I wanna stop right now. I'll come back with this story where you believe that I'm just smart, I'm just playing game. It's just a matter that you haven't yet get a chance of catching me red hand. But you are mistaken. I'm not the person you think I am. I'm just outspoken, and I love this religion. Maybe I'll have another chance to say why I love this religion. I'll tell you. But with this information you are collecting from people, there is nothing. There is nothing. And I'm not that person. You are trying to kill me for nothing. For nothing. Believe me, the first person you'll get wrong in your judgment, it's me. I know I've said a lot of things with the other friend, female friend on phone, but there is nothing that I hate this country. I will show you why I said those things on telephone and whatever thing I can remember about that. Thank you. I'll stop here before I start another video.